pretty good. It's pretty easy. At least on the skidoos, taking off this top instrument cluster in the front piece, it's pretty easy. There's just a few screws around the edges here. You unplug this and it comes right off. Your windshield and stuff on most of them just kind of pull off pretty easy. So once you get that off, I just took the side door off just to make it easy. It swings open normally. I just took it off so it wasn't in the way. So the game plan is I'm going to run this from my battery. Pretty simple. Positive, negative. Hook it on there. It's got a little built-in fuse. Buy it on Amazon. It runs right up in through here. Pops out right up here. This is the end on it. It has a battery charger hookup end on it. So the plan is I'll run this right into this bag. These bags generally have handlebar bags generally have a hole on the bottom here. Can't see too great, but right there's a hole. This will fit through it. At least it did on my other sled. From there, I buy one of these battery tender USB chargers. Get all this stuff on Amazon. Battery tender USB charger plugs into that. Pretty simple. It'll be right inside the handlebar bag here. USB chargers, standard USB on the end here. Standard USB on the end here. Buy a little pigtail cord for whatever phone you have. USB on one end and your phone connection on the other end. Just sits right in there, plugs in, you're good to go. Pretty simple. Won't take that long, under an hour. I also, in these handlebar bags, I run one of these little heaters that plugs into the helmet visor plug, just to help keep the bag warm, the phone a little warmer. And it works pretty slick. When you're stopping for a day or whatever, you don't have to unplug this. It doesn't really have much draw, but if I were going to stop for any length of time, park it for a week or whatever, I just unplug that. Some people say it has a little bit of battery draw. I don't really know, but just for safety's sake, I just unplug that. It's easy enough to do. So that's my easy phone charger setup for Snowmobile. And as you guys probably know if you're watching this, riding in the cold with your phone, it just kills the battery. Sucks the life right out of them. This is pretty easy to do. I think pretty much anybody can figure it out. All this stuff you can buy on Amazon. This wire, this cord, battery charger cord, bought on Amazon. It came just like this with the fuse built in and a couple of extra fuses there. You know, bought this on Amazon. It's all pretty cheap. I want to say this is under $10. You know, this wire was under $10, and that was probably under $10 too. So it's a relatively easy and inexpensive way to put a phone charger on your sled. You know, I'll go through and I'll zip tie a few spots. If I have extra wire, I'll wind it up under the instrument cluster there and zip tie it. I generally like to use a zip tie gun to cut them off nice and flush. But that's what I recommend for a phone charger on your sled. Pretty easy. Imagine other brand sleds, it'd be very, very similar process. Thanks for watching. One other thing I'll note too is if you haven't ever done it, but when you take these screws out, there's actually a little nut that's up in here, and when you pull this screw out, that nut will just drop down, and then sometimes it's hard to get at, depending on your sled. My other sled has a big plastic piece here, makes this harder to access. So just keep that in mind. You might want to put your finger under there or screwdriver, something to hold that from falling down out while you pull this screw out and put this eyelet back into it. It's pretty easy to do. This top one, it won't fall out. The gravity will make it go that way. But just something to keep in mind as you're doing it. Alright, so here's the final product here. I got this all zip tied right in here. I coiled up the extra wire in here and zip tied it all up. Wire comes on up through here. Zip tied it into this bundle here. Left enough slack here so it won't rub much on here. It's going into the back of the bag here. I have it coming out of the heating element pouch. I keep the heating element in this pouch. Got it coming out of there. Battery tender thing is plugged into the wire, and then I have my USB cord to connect to my phone. That's pretty much it. So this will just tuck down in here and loop up like that to my phone, so I can drop my phone down in with the plug end up, and should work well.